Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes. Welcome everyone to an episode of Outside the Panels. Now, if you're a fan of this show, you know how much I love a good Kickstarter. And, as always, I have got the best. Here we go. This is a new project. This is a new writer, co-creator. It is Mr. Alim Leggett. Alim, how's it going?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. Before we get into the book, I have to quickly point out a couple of things. I'm aware that you were from the town of brotherly love itself, Philadelphia.
That's right.
How about them Eagles, eh?
Yeah, they're doing good. I hope they keep it up.
Well, as a Dolphins fan, I'm kind of rooting for my guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Best of luck to you.
I don't have to sit here and say, no. I was talking to my wife the other day. When I say talking to my wife, I mean boring the pants off her. And I was like saying, do you know how many Alabama quarterbacks are in the league right now? I mean, you've got Tua, of course. You've got Mac Jones
right
for the Pirates. And then you've got Jalen Hurts. And people forget that he was at Alabama before Tua, before he switched over to, was it Oklahoma or Oklahoma State? One of the two. And you're kind of like, that's it. They're like, Alabama seems to be like a quarterback machine. How is that possible? I don't get it.
That's a football town, man.
Yeah.
From the cradle, they do. You know?
Well, I can't root for Alabama because they've got Nick Saban and he did the Dolphins bad back in the day. So, you know, sorry, Crimson Tide. I'm shouting for everybody else, but all right, okay, enough football. Yeah, we're geeks, not jocks. Come on. We're here to talk about your book. It's in the background there. It's on Kickstarter as we speak. This is Sweet Pea, issue 1, Purple Haze. Alim, tell us about this book. What's it all about?
Well, the premise of the book, there's everyday life inside a regular town, Philadelphia. And, you know, we follow a father and daughter as they just go through their normal day and routine. And out of nowhere, there's suddenly just this purple light shining down from the sky, and monsters are invading into the city. So there's just this wanton violence, and they have this small 2-unit family of 2, trying to get back to each other in the middle of the chaos that's erupting inside the city. So I wanted to try to keep it a little bit grounded and not get too extreme with, like, you know, the capes and everything like that. You still have powers and everything like that in these you know, extreme situations with the monsters and the light. And I don't want to give away everything. But
no, don't. We want people back. We want people back to the book, right? So don't get away with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to use this medium to tell a story that kind of parallels real life a little bit. You know, like, we have some issues in the city that I want to kind of bring light to in a creative way. So that's what I tried to do here.
Cool. I always think comics work best when they try and capture some element of sociality. You know, I mean, fair enough. Don't get me wrong. I love Batman and Batgirl. Maybe more Batgirl than Batman. That's a me thing. I'm all right with that. But I like the capes and cowl crowd just as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But comic books have, I don't want to say matured. What's the word I'm looking for? They've developed a social conscience. Yeah. Why is it important that comic books have that social conscience? And why is it important to have different opinions within comic books?
Well, you get to see other people's opinions and points of views. You know, you only got one pair of eyes to see through. So this gives you an opportunity to step inside of somebody else's shoes and get somebody else's point of view and see things experience other people's experiences in a fun way, you know, where
not in a life-threatening kind of in jail kind of way.
Yeah, right. So
It's the kind of family in jeopardy is, I don't want to use the word trope, but it is quite a popular thing right now. You've got that what's the movie called where they're running, they can't make any noise? What's that called? And then you've got the one with the bird in the cage, and there's like this family, like
yeah, I know.
like the names escape me. Why is it important to have that kind of, I suppose, that challenge on that family unit? Because family life's hard to deal with, isn't it, in the first place? You know, it's getting through normal day-to-day stuff's hard. Then you're going through purple lights and, you know, monsters. You're like, whoa, you know.
Well, it raises the stakes, I think, because you get a deeper connection to the characters. You know, like there's any father, you know, anybody with that has a child or can relate to that on any kind of level, or any child, you know, that has or didn't have a father. I think they'll find a way to connect to the characters, which I think is extremely important in telling a good story and having the reader become invested. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So is the book written from your personal experiences or from around people that you've kind of known in your life?
Yeah, some of my experiences, some of inspiration from other you know, shows and stories that I've read, and things that really stuck out to me. I think the best stories that I've experienced, whether it be through animation or off of the panel, would be the ones that let me get this right. Would be the ones that create a connection where there's like an emotional connection underneath all the action and everything like that. And that's what, you know, I'm trying to.
Yeah, totally. And of course, it doesn't help that you're wearing the character's sweatshirt, right? Or are you wearing yours?
I tried, man.
It's just like ploy marketing. This is like underhand. This is sneaky good.
It's a little bit of my own little power fantasy in there. I have a daughter the same age, and actually the character Imani, that's my daughter's middle name. So there's a little bit of you know.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. And that's all. I'm all good with that. I mean, it's a well-known fact. Jeff Johns based Stargirl on his sister. So,
oh wow! Yeah.
So you know, you got to write what you know, as Mark Twain said, right?
That's right.
So there you go. We had a quick look at the characters there. So you've got Imani there, and this is her dad in the background, looking super buff.
Yeah, Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. And this is the epitome of some of the chaos that's going on in the background, Jess, with the flying dragon-y type things, and God knows what else is happening there.
Yeah.
Where I get the idea of kind of a day in the strife is probably where I would phrase I would use. Why, from a creative point, incorporate the fantastical, like the monsters and the powers? You know, because I mean, comics have that ability to have like just a straight up father-daughter relationship story. I'm not complaining. I'm just curious why you went down that route. See what I did there? I spoke American there for you guys. Route.
Well, my first audience in mind that I had was, you know, my city. I'm trying to help affect some change, and not to become morbid, but there's I think we're over 500 murders in the city this year.
Okay.
So I didn't want to really hit any like reinforce any negative stereotypes. You know what I mean with the book. That's why, you know, the father is present. They're not like, it's not like some thug hoodlum things or anything like that. I didn't want to have like gang violence or anything like that. But I did want to address the violence inside of the community, and the underlying focus of the book is how it affects Imani. You know, because she's the true main character of the book, and a child growing up in that. But again, I didn't want to, you know, just reinforce any negative.
No, it's great. No, it's a great answer. I'm just curious because one of the things I like about comics so much is they can that can tell so many different stories. You've got, as we said, you've got the superhero crowd, you've
Yeah.
got like the post-Vertigo crowd, you've got mature books, you've got books for young readers, you've got, you know, so you've got a whole gauntlet of different types of story.
Yeah.
And not all of it needs that like fantastic, dynamic, powerful art. You can get, you know, art that matches a more sullen tale or whatever. I personally think you've done the right thing. You know, you talk about the disenfranchised and the problems of living in a city like Philadelphia, and rather than focus on the negative attributes, you've gone for even you can see in the background here, you've gone for like colors, you've gone for loud colors to kind of promote the positive rather than say, you know what, this is the kind of dark life that we lead. We can be this.
Yeah.
So I kind of really dig it. I get it. I can see why you go down that route.
The violence and everything is random. It's not the definition of their lives. You know, it's something that's happening to them from outside of them. But it's a happy family. You know what I mean? Initially, and they just get into the situation.
A little something, as they say. You talk about murders in Philadelphia. Another week's gone by, and again, there's been another two mass shootings, two gun shootings. One in a gay club, one in a Walmart. There seems to be no rhyme or reason for this sort of stuff.
Right. Exactly, and it's sad. So I mean, you know, maybe this is just like a small focus of a larger problem, and you know, a lot more people can pick it up and pick up, you know, something from this. That would mean the world to me. You know what I mean? If somebody just looks at this and says, "Wow,
yeah,
these kids coming up underneath of us, and this is, you know,
this is the world that they're going to inhabit." Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for you, your book, your monsters and the powerful, kind of are evocative of a society that's a little bit out of control, especially for a young girl who then has to try and find her way within that, whilst under the protective umbrella of her dad. Absolutely.
Things like grief and you know, PTSD as a child and things like that. You know, and the loss of innocence that, you know, it's a kid. You shouldn't have. The world should still be nice and fun for her. You know, to have to face these things. You know, this is what's happening to people in real life. You know,
I think it's a really powerful metaphor that you've gone for, Alim. I absolutely think it's, you know, one of the phrases that I said this earlier today in a different conversation. Funny enough, not about comic books, but I said from small acorn, big trees grow.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where we're at, right? We want to. A comic book isn't going to change the masses overnight, but what it can do is it can change this person and this person and this person, and then they affect the next and then that's kind of how it grows, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Things don't get bad overnight, so you can't expect them to just get cleaned up overnight either. You know.
Cool, excellent. Wow, that got a lot serious, didn't it?
With the explosions, you know.
Why? Got really serious there. All right, let's have some fun stuff going on then. Should we have some fun? I like this picture. Who's your artist for the project, please?
His name is Yusef Shatua. Don't quote me on the last name.
Oh man, my mutant ability is to say names wrong. I'm amazed I get mine right sometimes. So this is kind of what I was going for. This is you can see in the background you've got the smoke. You can also you know something's gone down. But there you go, right in the foreground, you've got the main relationship of the book.
Yeah.
How is it working with? Is this your first comic book?
This is my first comic book. Yeah.
How is it then? Because I always think, and I've said this before as well, I always think writers are like mini directors or mini editors, right?
Yeah.
So you write your script, you write down what you kind of want to see, and then you hand it off to an artist, and you're like, please be good, please be good, please be good, please. And then when it comes, you're like, wait, hang on a second, I didn't say that, and I didn't. Are you a kind of?
I've been truly blessed throughout this whole thing, man. I mean, I have an amazing team working with me. All right, so I'll just give you a background of how this actually happened for me.
Go for it.
I drew these characters up 2 years ago, And just like on an Instagram post, I said, you know, these giving me all kinds of ideas. This is something I did, you know, from childhood, draw characters and create stories around those characters, right? I said, you know, I would love to make a book for these guys. Then 2 years later, I start finding all these Facebook groups. I create comic books, Black comic book creators, and all these resources groups for independent comic creators. And inside of that group, I found a guy, Stephen Duffy from Apex Comics UK, right? So I start talking to him, and you know, he really just broke it down for me. On my own, I probably would have never made a comic book. You know, it just would have been another idea that I had in my head, and then, you know, but that guy was really great and pivotal into helping me create this project every step of the way. So we had a lot of conversations about the world that I wanted to bring, the characters that I wanted to do, the messages that I wanted to give, and you know, together we wrote up the script. I stayed at work the whole time. I did, you know, like, because doing this on my own, I am an artist. You can see some of the paintings and stuff that I got in the background here, but I think comic book art is something that I could have learned, but it would have took me, you know, another 2 years to get it to the quality that you see here, that, you know, that I would want to present from, you know, from my story. And it really didn't click to me that I can hire, you know, it occurred to me, and I didn't know, or I thought it would be like, you know, thousands of dollars a page. I had no idea, you know what I mean? But we ended up getting it done that way, man. I had a great guy doing the colors. Me and Steve wrote the script together. We really clicked on the you know, on all cylinders, man. Everything was firing great. So I mean, and I keep telling this story to everybody because I know there's other people that have that same mindset that I had before I started, and it's just like, it's not hard to, if you believe in it, you know, and you really want to do it. There's a lot of resources and a lot of good people. At least it's been my experience. There's a lot of good people that'll help you along, because I think the community likes to see, you know, more variety of stories.
Yeah. And I think you're in a bit of a windfall situation. I think the market for Kickstarters and independent books right now has exploded over the last 5 years massively. You know, I think people are getting a little bit, I don't want to say bored, but they're getting a little bit sick of the rotational elements of, you know, the superhero books. And granted, you know, the Batmans and the Supermans and whatnot, they're the people who are going to drag the people into the comic books into the comic book stores to start with. But whilst you're there, take a look at the rack, man. Do you really need to buy your 5th Batman book of the month? Try something new, you know?
Absolutely.
You mentioned help for Black creators. I would therefore assume, from an inspiration point of view, Milestone Comics played a massive part for yourself down the line.
Oh yeah, I grew up watching Static Shock Saturday mornings. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get it over here. I don't know what it is. We had Batman the Animated Series. We had Justice League every now and again. Did not see the Static Shock cartoon. I don't know why.
I'm not sure how many seasons they got, but yeah, it was definitely on a steady rotation at my house. It was pretty good.
Maybe it was the same 3 episodes just over and over.
It might have been, man. Do you remember Beetleborgs? Do you remember that show? I must have watched those same 3 episodes 100 times after school. But yeah,
like Power Rangers. Power Rangers is the same episode, isn't it? It's like, oh, look.
Dragon Ball Z did the same thing to me. I got to get up to the Frieza arc and then right back down to the Saiyan saga. But yeah, they Milestone, you know, huge influence, and also other independent creators like Black Sands has been extremely successful. Godhood Comics has been doing good with the antagonists. You see a couple of guys are getting the Tuskegee heirs are getting, I think, animated series from their books. So I'm grateful for their success and to show that, you know, there is a market and it's possible to do this. So
excellent. It's a great shout. I mean, I see so many comic books on a weekly basis for Crusaders and for the show, and I love it when people come on and they're really passionate about the work. It speaks for themselves. Comic books inspiration wise, when you were just a small young person, you young person now compared to me. Great. That's your cue to say no, man. You're fine.
No, man, you're great.
Yeah, thanks. All right, okay. So, Static Shock, you mentioned some anime. What sort of comic books were you into back in the day?
Man, when I was little, I'd be traveling around a lot with my mom. So like, the train stations, the news racks, even corner stores, there used to be like comic books everywhere. So I had this giant Ninja Turtle toy chest,
All right,
full of comic books, Spider-Man comics. I had like the first Spawn comic books in there. Wow. I had a couple comic books I probably wasn't supposed to have in there.
I'll tell you a story then. Okay, quickly. When I was back in the 70s, that's how old I was. We had little news agents, and every now and again, we'd stock DC comics, right?
Right.
But even further afield, sometimes they would get, like the Marvel black and white comic books like Conan and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was my birthday one year. I must have all been about 8 or 9 or whatever. And with my last birthday cash, I managed to convince my mom to let me buy a black and white copy of Sheena the She-Devil. I have no idea why she let me buy a black and white book about a blonde woman in a jungle in a fur bikini.
We just want to leave it there.
I just
needs to be said.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, man. I think shout out to the X-Men too. They were great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah. So I just had a huge variety, man. I passed it down to my little cousin actually, and now he's writing books. So he's working on a comic book of his own. So
I have to bring him on the show and we'll get him on. Talk about his comics.
Yeah.
I love talking about comics. All right. Excellent. Time for one of our adverts. Where shall we go? What have we got? You know what? I always play this one, but it's such a good advert. It's Crisis in the Toyverse. There you have it, Crisis in the Toyverse. As we speak, a new episode has dropped right now.
I'm about to
go look it up. It's got the vision on it. Vision. You might, just imagine you getting some McFarlane toys for your characters. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome. Actually, I got I have a statue up on the Kickstarter as one of the rewards.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. I would definitely have a look at that. Let's have a look at some more art. Let's see what we have. I don't think we looked at this one. Have we looked at that? No. Oh, we haven't looked at that one. I apologize. I've got so much art going on. It's unbelievable. Let's see. There we go. So there's a range of characters in the book. Why is it important to have so many different characters?
Well, I want to have a diverse cast and tell a lot of stories. I want more than just. I need the whole world. You know what I mean? It's not. They don't live inside of a bubble. It's a busy city and it's a lot going on. And with more people, you can have more interactions, I think, and more things going on. So when she's on her way to school, like here and this is just her normal routine. It wouldn't make sense for it just to be her and her best friend on the bus and nobody else.
Yeah,
so it just made sense to.
I think it shows. I like it when so you've done something really clever here in the fact that you have now created like sub characters that inhabit the world, and you kind of it gives it that real world feel. It's not just about these, as you say, these two characters in the bubble. You know, whatever happens is going to have an interaction. You know, it's kind of like in The Walking Dead. Whatever happens to the early season, at least, when it's Rick and his kid. I can't remember what the kid's called. I stopped watching that 8 years ago. But it's not until they start meeting other people that the show gets really interesting, because then other people have their different versions of how they got through the zombies and how they managed to form their little unit. So, no, good call. Like that. I like that a lot. Well done. When you write your scripts, do you write full scripts? Do you sort of go like panel 1 should show this, panel 2 this, or do you kind of leave some sort of like I want to start here, I want to get here, and let the artists do their work?
Well, see, I write as I want to start, I want to end here, then I want to go here, then I want to do this, I gotta do that, right? And then you know, so I make Steve's job a little bit harder because he's more of a structured. Panel 1 should have that in the third. So he just takes the mess that I create and created, something uniform, because I'd never written a comic book script before. So, yeah, like I said, he was a great help, and he really helped me out with that.
It's interesting. I mean, for writing for comics, it's like you've got to get the page count right, haven't you? You've got to you got to end when the book ends. It's got to be the cliffhanger. You got to get the page turn right. Yep. So something happens on the last panel of the page to make you want to turn it's kind of like ups and downs all the way through. So
you can't overcrowd with with words, and you don't want to have a full page with nothing in there. So it was a lot. We did a lot of rewrites, man, because I wanted to make sure that I got it right the first time. I didn't want to, even though it's an independent comic, I wanted to have a level of professionalism with what I put out there.
Well, you've definitely, I think, covered that absolutely brilliantly. I think there is definitely that stylistic view to shenanigans that are going on. Let's have a quick look at this last page that I've got. So this is him bracing for war a little bit, isn't it?
Yep. I didn't want to leave you guys with just the sense of it's just the everyday life going on, but I didn't want to give away too much from the book. So
no, it's fine.
Things start popping off here, and I think you get an idea of what's happening inside of the later pages from this.
Cool. I can keep a secret. Yeah, I'm really good. I'll tell you what Scott Snyder told me once on a podcast. And I had to keep it quiet for 12 whole months. It's fine. I did it. Of course, now it's old news now, so it won't matter so much. Right, let's have a quick look at your Kickstarter. There is a video on there, and I did threaten to play it, but we're not going to because I'm a nice guy, so that's fine. Okay, so you are currently. Let me transfer this back into dollars for you. So you are currently on $2,925.50 pledged towards a $6,000 goal. At the time of recording, that's 43 backers and 25 days to go. Wait a second. Is that not? No, it's the week before Christmas. Ooh, I'll let you off. Yeah, ain't nobody backing this. Ain't no one backing books on Christmas Day. Sorry. What I like about this is how well the whole thing's done. Love the logo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's really cute. It has that schoolgirl kind of doodle look to it. I like that a lot.
That was the goal. I'm glad we hit it.
Oh no! Stuff's happening. No, what do you need? Dude's going to need a bigger wrench. what I'm saying. He's gonna need one of those like adjustable ones, you know, that makes the.
That's a bad commute to work.
Yeah, that's it. And there you go. I will say this. A lot of the imagery is this. It's Marcus and Imani. And I absolutely love that that's regardless of all the stuff going on, this is the core of the book, isn't it? This is the I suppose the ballast that keeps everything up. Yeah. And like any sort of ship, sometimes they're going to take on water and things are going to look a bit dire, and other times they're not, right? That's part of the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
It's like I should be in PR or something. Right. Let's talk about the pledges. So, one of the things I absolutely, totally love about your Kickstarter is the fact that you've got in straight away $5 or more. You get a digital copy. Now, this is really important for overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that you can get a digital copy rather than have to have a physical copy. There's something I was looking at the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm really interested in Kickstarter." And before I pledged, I checked out what the shipping costs were. The shipping costs were going to be something like 3 times more than the pledge for the book.
Wow.
Now, I don't mind paying $5, $6 for a comic book. I do mind having to pay $18, $20 to get it shipped from the States to me.
Yeah, just for the shipping costs alone.
Exactly. You know, yeah. I can't justify that. So if anybody's out there are aspiring Kickstarters, please put a digital copy in there, please. For your overseas viewers, think about that. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Rant over. All right. The rest of them are US only. I understand that'll be a cost cutting exercise for yourself, is it? So you're not getting hit by international charges and stuff like that.
I just wanted to play it safe. This is my first Kickstarter. I've never had to deal with fulfillments and everything like that. And I think it's going to be enough of a challenge just fulfilling it here in the United States. I haven't got a chance to research how much the shipping cost is to ship something, across the water. So I didn't want to.
It's fine. It's all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. $12 gets you the digital and the physical. $20 gets you the books and a sticker. Some stickers. Love some stickers. Stickers are cool. I'm liking that. That's a good call. Let's see. What do we have? 50 signed, sealed, and delivered. Oh, okay. Sticker bundle signed pin-up poster. Excellent. Is that you signing the poster, or is it Steve signing the poster?
That'll be me signing the poster.
All right, cool. And then the brotherly love, knock again a touch back onto the whole Philadelphia 5. Signed physical copy, special in book. Thank you. Excellent, cool. And the last one's oh god, oh dear. Very good. I want to say you've really put a lot of effort and thought into this. You've taken a very logical approach to running your first Kickstarter.
Thank you.
A lot of people I see them go like, right, we're doing this, and it looks great, but then you've got to think, well, the digital element really helps for, as I said, the overseas viewers. Cool, excellent. Did you back Kickstarters yourself? Are you a Kickstarter fan?
Yeah, I've backed a few comic books mostly. Well, actually all comic books. I've gotten five in, and a lot of that happened this year because I think that it's important. If you're going to ask in the same place where you should be giving, then you should give and support other people, in their projects. I actually just backed one while my Kickstarter is running. It just looked interesting, so it was fun to see other people's work and support it. I think.
I agree wholeheartedly. So, talk to me about the length of the story. Is the first arc 4 issues?
You said, excuse me?
The arc of the book. This is issue 1. How many issues to an arc?
I think I want to go with. I want to try to do it in 4.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to do it in 4, and then go from there. Because there's a lot of other characters that I want to maybe explore.
Uh-huh.
But for now, I just want to keep the focus on these 2, and then tell a complete story of like I guess the origin of Sweet Pea, and then just see how I'm going to build from after that.
Cool. What's the dream then, Alim? Is the dream to get picked up? Is the dream to get picked up by a publisher? If so, who would be your publisher of choice?
The dream for me, I think I would love to see it get animated and have like Regina King or somebody the voice of Imani. That would be awesome. Getting picked up, of course, I'll have to be careful to make sure that I understand what I'm signing up for.
Yeah, that's a good call. That is a really good call.
Yeah, I would love to see it just spoken about and discussed.
I think when people talk about getting published by companies like Dark Horse and Vault or whatever, then I think you've got to find the right publisher for your book.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think you can go to Aftershock Comics, for example, and they're not going to be interested because they're like their stories with a twist in the end, or change the table setting halfway through or whatever. Whereas other books like Source Press, for example, have a wide range of different styles. Derby Pop have done loads of types of kind of different things, some gritty stuff, some cartoony stuff. So the companies are out there, definitely. It's just as I said, finding the right one for your audience is kind of the key. I do hear a lot of people talk about comic books as a way into something else. Is anime the dream then? Is that the end goal?
I think the end goal is the ultimate goal is to share the story. You know what I mean? To share the story and have people read it and enjoy it, talk about it. You know what I mean? I would love to hear people's opinions on the book and things like that. And making a little money on the side is great too. I just have to see, like I said, I would have to see whatever opportunities present themselves from any level of success that I get. What are those opportunities and what do they entail? Right now, it's just make the book, do the Kickstarter, and get people to read it. That's the goal for me now. See what the future brings.
Sounds very wise. All right. If you're interested in Alim and Sweet Pea, you can follow them on social media. There is the Facebooks and their Instagrams. Yes, it's a long address. You could just put in, Sweet Pea Comic in or Sweet Pea in either one and see what happens. Chances are you'll find it pretty damn sharp, I'm sure. All right. If you're interested in backing the Kickstarter, it's there again, another long address. But again, all you got to do, get yourself to the Kickstarter main page, open up the search bar, type in Sweet Pea Comic, and it will come up. It's that. I mean, if you can use Google, you know what I'm saying? Or Bing, we don't care which search engine. We're not sponsored by anyone. Use whichever one you want. I don't care. But you know how it works by now. All right, cool. Alim, thank you so much for spending the time with me. I really do appreciate it.
Oh man, thanks for having me. This was awesome, man. Really, it really was.
Cool, thank you. The book looks great. If you get me a copy over with words in, I might get it reviewed for you. You never know. And we can go from there for you. But it looks great. I love the premise. I love the ideas of the societal elements that are thrown in there to kind of build that up. I absolutely applaud you for the efforts in doing that. That's absolutely fantastic. I wish you all the success, man. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, guys. Don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite shows. You saw the advert earlier. It's a Crisis in the Toyverse. And of course, if you like your comics of a certain age, don't forget to check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, but the comics most certainly are. You never know. Some of Alim's X-Men books might turn up on there someday. Who knows? All right, Alim, thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And for everyone else, I've been your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes. Adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.shop, all about comic pop culture.